like every other industry in our lives, there are good and there are not quite as good public adjusters. And if I'm going to bring a public adjuster in, how do I choose the right public adjuster? Well, number one, in this day and age, the market of public opinion is brutally honest. So do your homework. Go to Google. Go to LinkedIn, go to the various digital media and get a read on the company or on the individual you're looking at. Make sure that they have a good public rating, because the court of public opinion is a wonderful place of accountability that causes the standard to be held at a level that's far more acceptable for the rest of us. So number one, do your homework. Number two, make sure that their specialist or specialization is in the field of your claim. If you've got a lost crop claim, make sure that they've got an agricultural background. If it's about buildings, make sure that they've got construction. Large loss, make sure they've got experience in the large loss world. So number one, check their reputation. Number two, check their speciality. And then number three, when you get hold of them, rely on your gut feel. If there's just not a connection, hey, you don't want to jump into bed with them. At this stage, when you're making that first phone call, make sure you don't get married to them. I tell folks, hey, we're not married at this stage, we're just waving at each other across the dance floor. If it all comes together and we decide to work together, fantastic. But then you're committed for the long haul. Make sure before you start that you've got a very clear expectation of what they're going to do. Here's what I've learned. Disappointment is the failure of expectations. So make sure there's a clear expectation of what their responsibility is and what your responsibility is, and write that stuff down so that as time progresses, you can go back to it and make sure that what everybody promised in the beginning, they are performing and providing through the process. Be careful to choose the right person. There are a lot of good folks out there, but there's some folks that you want to avoid. Make sure you do your homework and make it a good experience so that by the time you get to the end, you can look back and say, it was the right person, it was the right process, and I was made whole.